How you work, a one-page manual. Wouldn't it be great if you came with an instruction manual? Some simple form that explained exactly how you work and function. We humans are complex, complicated, and prone to habituation, which can work for us or very much against us. Our guest today, Laura Burkey, has spent over 3 decades researching and helping people understand the power of their words, thoughts, and behaviors. Today, she's breaking it all down in the simplest way possible, what she calls the one-page manual for understanding how you work so you can experience greater confidence and consistency, making the most of how you do you and maximize what life has to offer. Laura, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris.
So tell us what's up with this manual.
So, for all of the reading and exploring and seeking that we humans are doing, especially now, in the age of information, for all of that, there's a big miss if you don't really know how you work. One, that's I'll start with that. And second, anyone who's a parent out there knows that once, you deliver baby, they do not send you home with a manual of how that baby works. And they haven't for centuries. And, of course not. I guess, of course not. I don't know. So in the years that I have done what I've done, I've seen patterns from my research and reading and my actual work with clients. I've seen, my gosh, how simple it actually is. And if people understood, here is really the most simplest way that you as a human being work, you'll have a whole lot more confidence, a whole lot more, what's the word? You have the wherewithal to use yourself, work yourself better when you know how you work. And it's kind of like a car. Most people drive a car and they do not know actually how, and I'm definitely this person. I don't really understand, the radiator and the pistons, and I don't understand all of how that works. So if my car starts making noises or smoke or there's a funny smell or whatever, or it just stops working, I am not somebody on the side of the road would have any idea where to start or what to do. Some people would because they know how the car works, but a lot of people don't because they don't know. And so they are rendered helpless, frustrated, afraid, confused, and then need help. And so in a way, this is what I've seen with we humans, that we function just like we, turn on a light switch to drive a car. We know I have feelings, I have thoughts, I can do this, but don't exactly know how we are built and how we actually work. And so I created this very simple one-page manual. And ever since doing so, it has absolutely empowered me personally and certainly has done the same thing for my clients. And so I wanted to bring that today.
And well, I'm curious, what is this one pager?
Okay, so the one pager is this, and I have visuals. Is that okay, Chris? Can I use a visual aid? Okay. And if you're listening, my God, please, if you could, I would so jot this down because it is worth your while to do so. So here is you. This is how I teach it to everybody. So this is you. Okay. And what you do and what you have that is always there, always functioning, are you have thoughts in your head. And you have feelings and emotions, which are in the body. Those are not in the head. Those are in the body. Feelings and emotions are in the body. And I forgot to draw the feet and the hands. And you behave and you act. You do things. Are you with me so far, Chris?
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Do you feel like this describes you?
To a great extent, yeah. I mean, the thoughts are up here, the feelings are, well, somewhere, and then the actions, yeah, makes sense.
Okay. And so we are all of this. What most people have been taught or think, the way I've seen them operate, is that they believe or they think, well, all I have to do is think something, and then go do it. I want to make a lot of money, so I'm going to go work hard. I want to find the love of my life, so I'm going to get on a website or tell a friend, introduce me to somebody. I want to write a book, so I better get out paper, pen, typewriter, computer, and start writing. That's how most people operate. So I've seen. And then get confused, frustrated, mad, ashamed, guilty, deflated, defeated when they don't do said thing. I didn't write the book. I haven't met the person. Do you relate with that at all? Have you ever had the experience of, I want to do something and then I don't do it?
Oh, I mean, of course, being a procrastination coach, I was a master procrastinator and know lots of people that do the same thing.
Absolutely. And then let me just go on the brighter side of the street. Oh my gosh, my favorite band is playing, at the concert arena in town. I'm going to go buy tickets. and you buy tickets and you go to the concert. Didn't skip a beat, no pause, success and accomplishment were had. I'm so hungry, I'm going to go grab a burrito. I'm bored, or I just met this really cute person and I want to do something with them, so I'm going to invite them to go to a movie and dinner. So what's the difference? What is the difference between I want to write a book, but yet I don't ever sit down and type one word out on a piece of paper, and oh my gosh, favorite band is playing and I'm buying tickets? What's the difference? It's the same person.
The difference would be the excitement, I guess the emotion behind it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, Chris. It's the emotion. It is the emotion. We, for eons, were taught to ignore this. No, 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 no. Ignore your feelings. That is, I mean, for sure, that was, heck, I mean, well, I don't know how long shock therapy was going, but I mean, when once upon a time, if you were somebody who had an overflooding of emotions or difficult emotions, they would just say, hey, lay down on this table and let's just take care of that. And, in a way, let's get rid of that. Let's neutralize that versus, hey, let's work with that. Right? So the missing piece or the heart of the matter is your emotions and your feelings. And you said it exactly right, Chris, that when you have a thought that triggers an emotion or a feeling that feels good, it actually feels good. It doesn't think good. It feels good. Oh my God, I would love to see that band. Or, oh my gosh, it would be so fun to hang out with that person. Or, oh my gosh, like I've got so much to share. Writing a book and doing that is going to feel so fulfilling to me. Then, and here is the moment of the whole episode. It is your feelings and your emotions that dictate, decide, and determine what you are going to actually do. So for lots of people, aspiring writers, they think the thought, I would love to be on the New York's best time seller list. I would love to write a book. I'd love to see my title and my name on a book cover. But when they think that, they have a feeling, the more dominant feeling, even though it might be exciting for a minute, then what follows after that is, oh God, but that's going to be hard. Or I don't even know where to start. Or what's the point? There's 1,000 other people who've written books on the same topic. Why should I even do this? And that feeling and emotion dictates, decides, and determines, so why would I waste my time doing this? Or there's just no way I'm going to figure this out. And then most people, Chris, don't understand this is actually what's happening. Just like I don't understand when the pistons are moving in my car engine. I have no idea they're moving and I don't know what they're doing.
I mean, it's true because, and I forget where I heard this first. There's definitely a lot of different authors and a lot of different people who have mentioned this. But I mean, emotions, like emotion, is literally just a shortened form of saying, energy and motion. So, I mean, if you don't have the energy, you're not going to go in.
Yes. And another way to say that is your feelings are your fuel. And I would even kind of go one step further, that feelings of excitement, of desire, of interest, whatever, what other good emotions. So good feelings are good fuel. Negative feelings often are, let's just say, not high octane fuel. They are not high octane fuel. And sometimes negative emotions, though, do actually produce good behavior and action. And I've been here myself. When I looked at my bank account, or I looked at a relationship, or I looked at my body, and I'm like, I am so sick of this, which is not a great emotion. I am so tired of this happening. I can't take it one more day. I can't take it another day. I can't take it another day. Is another kind of fuel that can actually get you to take action. So it's not only the bright, sunny, happy emotions are fuel, but I got to tell you, by and large, I've seen that when people are plugged into their the feelings of enthusiasm or excitement or interest, that is a sustainable fuel to get the job done. Whereas the negative emotions perhaps are, and I don't know, maybe you could think of a good metaphor, Chris, but like I would say less often, but certainly powerful, are when you have very negative emotions that can dictate, decide, and determine a very powerful move in your life.
The one thing that comes to mind when you say that is that we are a very fear-based society. I mean, everything that we do is fear-based, and do this, or go to the gym, or you'll be fat and ugly, nobody will love you, or go get this course because otherwise you'll be broke and you won't know how to make money, or these other things. And what's interesting to note is that you're right, those negative emotions do spur you on, but the key difference between those two is when you do something from a place of emotion, excitement, joy, love, when you're done the action, you don't feel drained and tired. You're ready to go for more. When you do it out of fear, or you do it out of anger, or you do it out of, well, still base fear, then when you're done, you feel drained and you can't really do anything.
Exactly, which is why that isn't the sustainable fuel. It'd be great to maybe get you off the couch, right? Out of the relationship onto something new, but you can't wake up every day then. And I mean, it just isn't going to work. I've seen it. Every day, wake up and be angry that your body looks this way. I hate my body. I did that. I did that in my 20s. It doesn't work. But it did work to get me out of the garage. If I'm going to stick with the metaphor of the car, it got me out of the garage. But then I had to, and I actually did this. I made a list of all the good reasons that I would do the things like go work out, eat right, stop emotional eating, don't overeat at the restaurant. I just made very good reasons why not to do it. That like you will feel better, you'll look better, and whatever. That is what's sustainable is the good feeling, love. So if we're just going to go now, the polar opposites, most people are driven by fear, motivated by fear, or even stopped by fear. And then the very opposite is love. And so, yeah, toil with the fear for a second just to get what you can out of it. But then you really want to, for sustainable, optimal living, you want to be plugged into the feeling of what's lovely. I'll say that instead of love so people don't care. What's a lovely feeling for me? I love the feeling of enthusiasm. I love the feeling of energy. I love the feeling of new ideas. I love the feeling of creating. And that gets me every day to get up, open up my computer, say, boop, 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 boop. Let me share this information for my new book.
So, you've dealt with this for a long time. And sometimes, I've been in dark places. I'll be the first to admit that. If you are in a dark place or you find yourself in a dark place, is there any kind of, I'm not going to say like instant fix, but is there anything that you could do? Like you mentioned making a list, but if you're having an issue making a list, is there something else you can do to kind of switch that around?
There are lots of ways to get out of a dark place, for sure. A lot of ways. And I just always believe, know thyself. Whatever you've known yourself to do that works for you and what doesn't work for you, obviously go in that direction. But the one thing I'll offer here, as far as anyone who's listening and they're like, I'm in a very dark place and I cannot seem to budge and get out of this, I wouldn't deny it. What you resist persists. So if you're like, hate this and I don't like this and I'm losing in life or whatever, and then you want to, well, let me just not acknowledge that and let me just try to go and pretend to be a happier person or try to be a happier person, actually to look at very honestly straight in the face. So what am I feeling? And I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling like I've lost. I feel like nobody cares about me. I feel backwards. I feel whatever. And so here, back to those opposites. Look at that ugly and, in a way, accept it, love it. And because I'm into words, and I'll kind of end the whole thing with this, is to look at that and say, okay, so this is how you feel. And we're going to do something about this. Even just, now that would work for me. And this is why I never give dialogue, because you have to know what kind of dialogue does work for you. But for me in that, I can say, you know what, this is pretty bad. This doesn't look good. And we will work on this. We will do something about this. And then I have this 1% rule. If I just do 1% better tomorrow than I did today, or 1% better today than I did yesterday, I'm in the right direction. And that's how I talk to myself. So I would say, look at it. Look at it. Don't try to deny it, hide it, put it under the rug. Look at it and say, it's okay. This is how I am, but I don't have to stay here. I can do something and I can move in a different direction.
Wow. That is such a powerful note to end on, because we are coming up at the time. Is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with before we wrap it up?
I do. The last thing I want to do is I just want to show one final visual to remind you that everything starts with your thinking and thoughts. Everything starts with the head. And whatever you think triggers emotions and feelings. Every thought you have will trigger an emotion and feeling. And sometimes you're firing a lot of emotions and feelings from a lot of different thoughts, and they can be chaotic and they can be conflictive and they don't go together, which is sometimes when we just feel like a mess. But do know your thoughts are triggering emotions and feelings, and it is your emotions and feelings that dictate, decide, and determine. Those are very strong words. Dictate, decide, determine. This is what determines behaviors and actions. And so while all of these are important, you should always start with, if you're ever just kind of like, I am so confused, I'm so overwhelmed, I'm not clear at all, start with your feelings. Well, how do I want to feel about this? How do I want to feel about starting my book? How do I want to feel about that? I would love to feel energized and excited. Then back up. What must I think for me to feel excited about writing a book? I'm the only one who knows this stuff. People really need this. Ooh, that feels good to me. And then there you go, because that will dictate your behaviors and actions. You can find out more on my website, lauraburkeycoaching.com. And I have workbooks and I have little sheets that help people kind of integrate this kind of information.
I mean, such a powerful lesson in such a short time. Again, thank you once again, Laura. Again, to all our listeners, don't worry. We are going to have that in the show notes, so you'll be able to go and find the website easily. And again, we'll be seeing Laura again fairly soon. We see her on a weekly basis. So just remember to tune in, next time. And also just remember, if you can't find that motivation or inspiration for yourself today, maybe just try and be that motivation or inspiration for someone else. And we'll see you again next time.